The Ronin-S review is well underway and I've already had quite a few questions, mainly about the setup. So I've broken the Ronin-S down into its component parts. We've got the mini tripod, battery grip, we've got the gimbal itself, and then in addition to that I've also got Sony Alpha 7 Mark III and an iPhone 7. So what I'm going to do is quickly run through the process of getting this set up, balanced, and then the last part, which is just the auto tune through the Ronin-S app. So I'll get straight into it. First and foremost is the little mini tripod. Now you might think this is just an added bonus accessory. Actually, it plays an important part in the whole setup and also use. You'll see on the setup, and then later on in another video I'll show you how it comes into play when you actually start to use the Ronin. Right, so battery grip, standard 1/4 inch thread there, and we'll just twist that onto the mini tripod. All very simple, just do that nice and tight. Next, the gimbal itself. This has got a little slider bit here. Just slide that straight onto the battery grip. Then you'll see on the side here, there's a little metal lever. Push that forwards and that just locks everything in place. Now this has been packed away, so I've just literally released all the bolts, and this is the gimbal as is. So we're ready to mount the camera. Put that aside for 1 second and just show you the camera. Before we do anything, or before we start mounting the camera, we need to make sure the lens cap is off, battery is inserted, as is the memory card. And I've also taken off the strap and attached the base plate just here. I'm using the 12-24mm Sony lens, so I can't put on the little lens support, but you'll find with other lenses there's a little metal bracket that fits on there, just supports the lens. With that all done, we're now ready to attach the camera. Now just slide straight in, easy enough. Then I'm just going to hold the Ronin just to balance it whilst I position the camera. And this is just a very quick install, and we'll sort out the tilt of the camera and the proper balance of that in a moment. So in place, actually you see that's already quite nice and steady, although we're not balanced. Now at the moment we've got the camera just positioned on top of the gimbal, and what I'm going to do is just slide the camera in so it's just nice and tight into the build of the camera, and you can slide the camera back and forth on this arm just with this, and you can lock it in place there. Now onto the balancing. The first thing we need to do is adjust the tilt. And this is basically, we tilt the camera up like this, and what we want to do is get the camera to stay in position. At the moment I'm holding it with my thumb, I let go and it'll just rock down. So to adjust that, we just undo this catch here, move the camera, and we just find the position where the camera balances. This can take a little bit of time. These sliders aren't the smoothest, better than some, but they're still not absolutely smooth. And once that tilt is done, we can now move like so. We can now balance the camera itself. So at the moment we've got a slight forwards tilt, just means that we need to move this base plate back a touch until it finds its balance. Now, if I move the camera so it's slightly pointing up, you'll see it stays in position. Slightly down, again, it stays in position. So we now know that that one is done. Just release that. And at the moment, our roll axis, as you can see, is well out. Again, we want to be able to balance that, so when we move this arm, it just stays in position. The adjustment that we use to do that is this one here. So again, I'll just undo that, spin it around, and move this arm so that it balances. Just quick tighten there. Now if I move it, and again, you can see that balance, perfect. If Finally, we need to do the pan axis, which is this one here, and that's all done with this one here. So tilt this forwards at 45 degrees, let go, it stays where it is, slightly over to the left, and it's all good, so we don't actually have to adjust that one at all. With that done, just pop that down, just make sure it's all nice and steady. We're ready to switch on the Ronin-S. First things first, battery grip, click that, and we'll see 4 green lights appear across the bottom. Then it's onto the gimbal itself, and power button just there. Put that down, and there's 3 lights across the back. Once those have all gone on, it's powered up, and we're now ready to go. Last stage is the auto tune and connecting to the mobile app. So I have the iPhone 7 just here with the Ronin app pre-installed. Here, don't know if you'll see that, but it just says connect to Ronin. Comes up with the name of the Ronin, just tap there. See a little green tick saying that it's connected. Tap, go to configuration, motor parameters, and there's an option here for auto tune. Now we just wait for it to run through its tuning process. So we're at 40% now, 70, done. So that's the auto tune. Now I should be able to just pick this up, and you can see that is now Ronin-S set up. On the back here we have our joystick, so we can move left and right. Double click, recenters, triple click, 180, double click, back to front. So that's a very quick guide on the basics of setup and balancing the Ronin-S with the Sony Alpha 7 Mark III.